Hello, and welcome to the very first episode of the Nextool podcast. I'm your host, Ilkin, COO of Nextool.ai.
And I'm your co-host, Jafar, CEO of Nextool. It's great to finally kick this off. If you're curious about how AI is transforming marketing, business, and everything in between, you've come to the right place.
Exactly. This is where we break down AI and marketing tools for real-world use. And trust us, we'll keep it interesting. No robotic lectures here, folks.
No pun intended, right? Robotic lectures, AI podcast. I swear, Ilkin, this is why you're my favorite person to co-host with.
Well, thank you. I'll be here all season, folks.
All right, Ilkin, let's get to it. Why don't you kick things off by introducing yourself properly?
Absolutely. As I mentioned earlier, I'm the Chief Operating Officer at Nextool. My day-to-day involves managing operations, working with our partners, and most importantly, listening to businesses about the challenges they're facing. I've always been passionate about making complex things simple, especially AI tools. I think of myself as a bridge between the tech side and the real-world side.
And let me just say, you're really good at it. I mean, you make COO sound way more exciting than it usually is.
Thanks, Jafar. But I have to say, you're the one with the big ideas here. As CEO, you have quite the visionary role at Nextool. Why don't you share a bit about your journey?
Sure thing. My role as CEO is about setting the direction for Nextool and making sure we stay ahead of the AI curve. I spend a lot of time thinking about the next big thing, whether that's new tools, emerging trends, or ways to provide more value to businesses. Some days I'm a strategist, other days a fire extinguisher. You know how it goes.
Ain't that the truth? But seriously, you've built something incredible with Nextool. And that brings us to the real question. Why are we doing this podcast?
Good question. The simple answer is we saw a need. AI is everywhere now. It's changing industries, redefining how businesses operate, but it's also intimidating for a lot of people. There's this perception that AI is either too technical, too expensive, or just not accessible.
And we know that's not true. There are so many tools out there that can make a difference, whether it's a chatbot that handles customer service or an AI platform that forecasts trends. The challenge is knowing what to use and how to use it.
Exactly, and that's why we started Nextool, to help businesses cut through the noise and find the right tools. Now, with this podcast, we're taking things a step further by having conversations about how AI fits into the bigger picture. It's about real-life applications and how AI can solve problems for marketers, entrepreneurs, and business leaders.
And let's be honest, we also wanted to have some fun with it. There's so much buzz around AI right now, and we want to make it approachable, like sitting down for coffee with two guys who just happen to know a thing or two about AI.
Exactly. It's like getting the best of both worlds, tech insight and practical advice, all without the boring jargon.
So let's talk about what listeners can expect from this series. Jafar, how would you describe our vision for this podcast?
At its core, this podcast is about bridging the gap between AI and business. We want to equip our audience with practical insights they can apply immediately. Every episode will focus on a theme, like AI-powered marketing, automated SEO, or future trends in business tech. We'll also keep things short and sweet, 25 minutes per episode, because we know time is precious.
Indeed. And it won't just be us talking all the time. We'll explore real-world case studies and share success stories from businesses that have implemented AI tools successfully.
And we'll have some fun segments along the way too, like tool reviews, where we'll try out AI products live on air, and Q&A sessions where we answer listener questions. Maybe even a few surprises along the way.
AI is here to stay, and we want to make sure our audience is ready for it.
So, Ilkin, what can listeners expect from the next few episodes?
We're kicking things off with a series on AI tools for marketers. We'll dive into tools for personalized content creation, automated SEO, and predictive analytics. If you've ever wondered how to make your marketing smarter, faster, and more effective, you won't want to miss it.
And we want to hear from the audience too. If there's a tool you're curious about or a question you'd like us to answer, drop us a line on Nextool.ai or reach out on social media.
Absolutely. This is a conversation, not a monologue. We want our listeners to feel like they're part of the journey.
All right, that's a wrap for our first episode. Thank you so much for joining us.
Make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share this podcast with anyone curious about AI and its impact on business. Until then, Keep exploring, keep learning, and remember the future belongs to those who embrace change.
See you next time on the Nextool podcast.